Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports for Supper. I am Jared Lucky, along here with Dwayne Garza. Maury won't be joining us tonight, and Jeff won't as well. Maury's running the clock for the
Junior varsity.
the JV here, doing that. So we are live from the press box here, as you can look out and maybe see. We tried to set up a camera here to where you can try to watch. So hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit of it if you.
Yeah, we're going to give a little bit extra here this evening. We got the JV live for you here with just with some video, and while we're talking, and right now the JV is down 12-0, but they do have the ball. A run attempt by the JV, and we're going to talk a little about sports here while we have this game going on, where you can kind of look in and listen to us talk Medina Valley sports.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about Medina Valley sports. I believe cross country is supposed to join us here later.
Cross country, and I think Coach Crisp will be in here later also.
And so I know that Coach Bermea is who comes for the cross country. And give us just a second here. Yeah, so we're back here, and we're going to be joined by Coach Crisp also, along with, I believe, some of the cross-country. I think their district meets tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we've got some more information on. They have district tomorrow. And just to clarify that we're up in the press box today because the varsity football team is playing tomorrow night. We typically do our Sports for Supper show at Sammy's on Wednesday, but since the junior varsity is playing, we decided to come to the press box and do our Sports for Supper live from the press box, where we can give a little extra video. And we're going to talk to Coach Crisp here, and we're going to have Coach Bermea hopefully here with the cross country and talk about a little bit what they've got going on. They've got some exciting stuff going on right now in their department. I believe they're going into is it district or area? Cross country.
I think it's district.
Tomorrow they have district competition, so we'll interview the coach there. And right now, Jared, if you want to.
Oh, yeah, and we'll start here with Coach Crisp. And, Coach, thanks for joining us here in the press box.
Yes, sir.
So we'll start with the Bernie Champion game. So you're coming off a loss, but I feel like the team probably played one of their best games up to that point, especially your defense. Tell us a little bit on your thoughts of what you took out of that game.
Yeah, I told the kids after the game as we're getting on the bus that was – I felt better after that game than any of the games we played before. I mean, even the wins didn't feel as good as the loss that we took to Bernie. I mean, it doesn't feel good to lose, but to play the way we did, I thought, we actually showed a little bit of togetherness. We played with some heart that I hadn't seen in the previous 4 games, and so that gave me a lot of hope and confidence coming into this next week to go out and score first like we did, and the way the defense played lights out, I mean, the whole game. And again, hopefully a hallmark of our program is going to be that we never quit. But to step up against a good team like that, I was very proud.
Yeah, and only there was 1 or 2 plays in there that really changed the whole dynamic of the game, 1 or 2 the other way. That game maybe could have shifted the other direction.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of different things. I mean, we got a lot of young kids and guys having to step up and fill jobs that maybe they're not used to doing, and they're doing it without complaint, and very proud of their effort. And like you said, I mean, I think the first time Bernie scored, it was just kind of they threw it up, and the dude just happened to be about 6 inches taller than either guy that was guarding him. So that happens. I mean, that's football.
Yeah, I was at a volleyball game that night, so I didn't get to watch much of that game, but. From what I understand, was it 14-7 at halftime?
Yep.
I mean, so we've got to have been playing good football up to that point.
Yeah, I think it was. I think all the way into the fourth quarter, that was the same score, and so to have the lead, and then it's just the first drive was good, and then it was just a little bit of the previous weeks kind of crept back in on us, and we do some good things, and the penalty bug hit us again, and it's a process. I keep telling the kids last year at this point we were 1-4, and we hadn't really found our groove. And I think we're finding our groove just a little bit sooner than we did last year, and so that gives me a lot of hope.
So, Coach, we have Alamo Heights here on the field right now, watching their junior varsity right now. What are some of the thoughts about tomorrow night's game?
I think this is going to be it'll be a good game, good matchup. Coach Ritterman does a great job with his guys. New coach coming in over there. I know him from over when he was at Johnson and I was in Northeast, and so he'll have them going. I think that we match up well. They're still figuring things out, just like I think it's kind of this season's been that way, where everybody's trying to figure some things out, and so offensively they're a lot like they have been. I think that they probably will go to the run a little bit more than they used to. They used to be kind of pass happy, not afraid to run the ball this year. Defensively, they've got some big guys that, it'll probably be like a broken record. We hear that all year, but guys that are bigger than us, that play hard and fast, and but we're going to give them what we can.
Well, they've got to have this game penciled on their calendar based on what happened just last year when we played them over there. It was a very exciting game, and it came right down the end. We came out on top, and I think it's one of the few times that we've ever beaten Alamo Heights. So, they're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think that's the only time we've ever beaten Alamo Heights in the 13 matchups or so. And so we're looking to try to build a streak. I don't know if 2 is a streak, but you got to have 2 before you can get any more.
Yep. Kind of explain to us. So it's not at Alamo Heights, and why is it not at Alamo Heights?
So Alamo Heights is remodeling their stadium, and so the home side is all in pieces. So we're going to be playing that game at Comalander Stadium, which is over off 281 in Bitters area, over by the airport.
The old Northeast.
It's Northeast Blossom Athletic Center, Jerry Comalander Stadium, and so for me it'll be like going home. I've been there, spent about 12 years playing football games over there. So, but it'll be nice. Kids will enjoy it, and plenty of room, so there shouldn't be any issues there. And but that's where they're being, and that's why it's on a Thursday, because they're having to host us there.
And I think from what I read today that you can actually walk up to the gate for this game, and you can pay at the gate. There's no online.
Correct. Yeah. So the tickets can be bought at the gate, unlike last week, and nothing online. It's fairly simple, which is how I like it.
So talk to us a little bit about. So this is your 4th road game in a row. And I'm guessing that has to do with the COVID scheduling and the way things had to go. But that's got to be tough. Played two home games. Now you got 4 on the road. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So part of it has to do with the way our district, when we drew, just the way some of that shook out, and when we realigned and trying to get all those games scheduled last year, we had it's about the same amount that we had before in terms of home games. But when the COVID schedule hit, it was again, scrambling all over again. So all our district games stayed the same. So we only had 2 home games anyway in district, and I was able to get two home games in the non-district area. So that was about as good as we could get. So we're only playing 9 games. There's 4 at home, 5 away. We're getting 4 in a row out of the way right now. Yeah. So I don't mind it too much, to be honest with you, because of all it's a headache to host a game, particularly right now. Normal time, I'd love to have all the games here, but man, all the extra that goes into trying to make sure everything's right for.
I bet.
It's a little bit of a headache. So it's nice to just load up on a bus and let somebody else worry about it.
Not to mention your head coach and athletic director. Plus, there's other stuff that biting at your coattails. That people won't get done to. So get away a little bit too. It's nice as far as you are.
My wife wants the grass mowed and stuff. So.
I want to ask you a question about. I saw this last week, and I don't know. I figured this was kind of out of the ordinary. So we were sitting on the Bernie side, looking down at them. And, you see their coach in the referee's ear all the time. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. But their number 15, their receiver, literally stood over here off the field with one of the referees having a straight conversation with him while there was a play about to start, and then he goes onto the field. What's the deal with that? Is that even legal?
I probably not. I don't know.
I'm asking because I saw that, Maury saw it, and we're sitting here going, how is that even possible? How can you do that?
Yeah, it's not something that I would think, we would never try that. I always try to be very polite and respectful, and you don't see me lose my mind very much out there. I think when you do that, you take the focus off of what you can control, which is not the officials. I'll ask them questions when I need to, and they're pretty good about giving me a good answer. And whether it's right or wrong, we always find out on film. But yeah, you're going to run into some fishy stuff, and unfortunately, I haven't been around long enough to, I'm not buddies with all these guys, and so
Let me ask you a little bit off subject a little bit, but so I want to know how practice, as far as yesterday, you get a cold front that blows through, and it's football weather. I mean, does it change the attitude at practice when when it feels good out there? How were the kids out there this week?
Usually there's a lot more energy. They were kind of like my German Shepherd. Well, when he gets a cold weather, he's running around like a maniac. The kids were good. Monday wasn't bad. Yesterday was a little bit tougher because you get that precipitation and it's sort of
right.
But the only thing that really affected was the field conditions, and it was a little bit sloppy, so that made it hard. But there was no complaining. Everybody was excited, and when you're playing at this time of year in a normal season, you're doing pretty good. And night today was beautiful, and
and I would expect tomorrow night's gonna be perfect.
I think so, and so we're really looking forward to getting out there and in this kind of weather and just cracking some heads. And
yeah, and if you're listening out there, if you want to attend the game, it's not going to be too hot and it's not going to be too cold. It'll be perfect weather. Take a drive out to San Antonio and watch the Panthers play tomorrow night is it 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, Comlander Stadium, which is over the old Northeast or Blossom Athletic Complex, whatever you want to call it, what it was in its previous life.
One last thing, Coach, before we let you off here. So we know all season we've seen it. Your defense is a little bit ahead of your offense. Is there anything you're trying to do to get your offense caught up a little bit? I mean, they caught up some last week, but we talked about penalties and things like that hurting them. But now you're going into your second game of district. It's time to get moving, I'd imagine.
It's something we focus on every week, and really we're talking about focus and just that the maturation that occurs when you got young kids. I mean, our roster's full of guys that played JV last year, and and that's not a bad deal, but it's a different speed and kind of having to adjust to that. And I think the only thing that cures it is experience and reps. And so we talk every day about being better than we were yesterday, and in all aspects, whether it's physical or mental. And so that's always our focus, and we just take it one day at a time. And we've had a good week of practice. I thought Monday was real good, and even yesterday, despite the weather, we've had good practices. And so kids are excited. You can feel a little bit of an energy that maybe wasn't there initially. And so I'm hoping that translates into a little more focus on Thursday,
Yeah, and there was a lot to build on from last week's game for sure.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Dwayne.
No, I was just saying you got to be thinking positive going into this week's game.
Yep.
Because there was a lot of positives that came out of last week.
Yep. Well, Coach, thanks for being on with us. We always enjoy it.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and then we'll come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
James said he's coming, I guess.
MVBN.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tondre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices. Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984. and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper. We are live in the press box here. We're at the JV game, and I know that the video is probably frozen on your screen. It's frozen on ours too, and we're trying to sort that out. But it's still 12-0 here in the, I believe, the second quarter, with 1:24 to go, and Alamo Heights with a 12-0 lead over the Panther JV. And I'm going to give it over to Dwayne, who's going to give you an update on what the volleyball's been doing this last week. And I know they had a game last night that was broadcast here, and he'll go ahead and update you on that.
Yeah, Jared, Panthers took on Harlandale last night at Harlandale. Won that match 3-0. Pretty handily beat Harlandale, even though Harlandale was good competition. Tough match right now. The Panthers sit at a perfect 10-0 in district play right now. They're really rolling right now. Overall, they're 15-2. They played McCullum twice this week, who's in the second spot. When they met on Friday of last week, it was a match of two undefeated teams. McCullum was 5-0 in district, and Medina Valley, I think, was 7-0 at that point, or 8-0 at that point. So big matchup. It went 3-2 on Friday. Panthers came out victorious, 3-2, and it was back and forth and close the whole time. And then on Saturday at noon, they had a rematch, and that was a makeup game because McCullum was dealing with some COVID issues in the first round. So the Saturday was a makeup game of the first round. Panthers won that match 3-1. So as of right now, if you were to take this district and start the playoffs, Medina Valley would be in the lead right now in the district with a perfect 10-0 record. McCullum would follow second with a 6-2 record. Floresville would be in third with a 6-4 record. And duking it out right now for the fourth spot is Southwest in Harlandale. Southwest is 5-4 in district, and Harlandale is 3-3 in district. However, Southwest and Harlandale have not played yet at all, so they've got some makeup games to play, and a lot of these teams have makeup games to play. So Harlandale is 3-3, and they're in the fifth spot. Wynn is in the sixth spot. They're 2-7. That's Eagle Pass Wynn. Southwest Legacy is also 2-7, and Southside is 1-7. So some of those, a lot of those teams have some makeup games to play, and they're going to force them in. I believe on Saturdays that they've been doing it, and the week after the schedule for the regular season schedule is over, that they'll do some of those makeup games. So like I said, right now Medina Valley in first place with a perfect 10-0 record and an overall record of 15-2. And I'll be honest, the tough part of their schedule is past them right now. So some of these sub 500 teams is who they have left on the schedule. But and I know Coach Griggs is going to do her job and not take any of those teams lightly, because at any given time, they could have a bad outing and drop a game to them. But I'm sure their goal is to come out with a perfect record and be undefeated in district play and be ready to roll into the playoffs. So upcoming, I can talk a little bit about the upcoming matches they have. Again, they played Harlandale last night. And they won 3-0. They play Southside Friday night. That's a 6:15 at the Southside. We will not be covering that game. We're going to take Friday off, but we'll be back the following Tuesday. The Panthers take on Southwest Legacy, and that will be at home, and followed up by Friday against Eagle Pass Wynn at Eagle Pass, and they'll finish the season Tuesday on November 10th at Floresville. No, that's a home match against Floresville. And then I believe there'll be probably a week or 2 week break in between where they'll give the other teams an opportunity to get their makeup games in before the playoffs start. So I don't have an actual playoff date. I think pretty confident that Panthers have secured a playoff spot at this time with a perfect 10-0 record. But so I think there'll be a 2 week break between the end of the season and when the playoffs start. And that's going to be kind of your volleyball update. They're doing really good. Panthers are really steamrolling right now, and my prediction is they're going to win out with what's left on the schedule.
Yeah, Dwayne, we'll we wait for cross country to come up here and join us. We'll talk a little bit about the game tomorrow with Medina Valley and Alamo Heights coming up. So Alamo Heights is coming off of a win. They were actually trailing in that game to Floresville for a while. I think they played Floresville, but I do know they were trailing at one point in that game. They came back and won, so they're 1-0 in district play.
Alamo Heights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they were hit last week. They came back and won that game.
Oh, okay.
They're 1-0 in district play, and we do know they're not the team they've been in the past. We heard Coach Chris talk about that a little bit earlier here on the show, as I just watched 3 players bounce off of their tight end here at the JV game.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to go into halftime.
To go to halftime, so it'll be 12-0 going into halftime. We'll
Yeah,
finish that thought in a little while, because we've got the cross country just came up here.
We'll take a
We're
break.
gonna take a quick break, and then we'll have them on. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
What's up, guys?
MVBN.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, 2 legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doublethunting.com. You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
All right, we're back here at Sports for Supper, and we're joined by Coach Bermea and 4 of the cross-country team members, and we'll start with Coach Bermea, if you want to take the microphone here, and we'll start. Coach, tell us a little bit about what's going on with the cross-country team this year, and give us kind of a rough
Let's
run-up
talk
of
about
what
how
have
many
they
meets
been
y'all
doing.
been to and the outcome.
We're definitely coming into the later part of our season. Been quite, definitely holding true to our schedule, but COVID's kind of changed things up as far as the number of teams that run. But we were very fortunate and able to keep a pretty competitive schedule, meaning we went to Liberty.
To kind of keep me on pace and pushing myself and making it worth my time, worth the while.
And we talked a little about it during the break right now. So, I mean, we've got this cooler weather, and you've been used to really, really warm weather. What do you prefer to run in?
I prefer like 60-degree weather, not 40s like this, but yeah, I prefer that over 100-degree weather.
So tomorrow's supposed to be, what do we say, 47 or something like that? You said, Coach. So Is that going to affect the way you run, or is it just going to be cold?
I think it's just going to be cold because we've been practicing really early in the morning, and it's been around this temperature this week. So
As a runner, are you real techie? Do you use the watches and the stuff how do you what do you use anything to help you run while you're practicing?
I really just use a stopwatch just so I know my overall time. I don't really have one of the Garmin's or like a GPS watch to really keep
Do
pace.
some of y'all do that?
Yes.
You use the watches and stuff to get you to going to see how far. So what's the furthest you've ever ran? We've asked the other two without stopping.
I think around 6 or 7 miles.
Well, that's still a lot.
That's a 10K.
Yeah, that's
or-
still
or
a lot. Do you do any other sports?
I do basketball and track as well.
So you're doing it all year long too, also, huh?
Yes, sir.
So, do you wait? Is basketball getting ready to start?
Basketball practice has already started, and they're having a scrimmage this Saturday. But
Are they really scrimmaging already? So
Yes.
when do you factor into that? Do you wait till it's completely over with cross country before you go in, or do you merge, or what's your plan for that?
For basketball, since it started afterwards, cross country is my main priority right now. So I don't do any of like the scrimmaging or the games, but I can still work on like shooting and ball handling as long as it's not something too aggressive.
And this last, you were one of the top 10 place finishers on the last run. What place did you come in?
Third.
You were third place. Okay. And is any other placing this season so far?
Some of the other home meets I've placed top 10, and I believe I've placed some on the away meets too.
Do they give y'all, when you place, you get ribbons, medals? What do they give y'all?
Medals.
Medals?
Yes.
So your thought when you're in a race, obviously you have Macy running with you. Is it like, I just want to get right behind her, or I'm going to try to stay in front of her and try, what are your thoughts going into a race, looking at what's her face right here with you? How do you approach that?
Well, Macy's a little bit faster than me. She's
Do you ever just want to trip her?
Wow.
So the answer is yes, huh? But I mean, it's got to be a big plus to have someone like that running with you. It's got to motivate you and probably put a little more giddy up in your step. Is that right?
Yes, sir. It's always fun to have someone to really compare yourself to, like especially if they're right next to you, so you're training next to them.
So
And
it's got to help you, I would think, in the long run. To get you
Yes.
going. Okay, great.
So you have the district meet tomorrow. How do you prepare for that? Are you able to sleep the night before? Do you think about it a lot?
I try and go to sleep earlier. I try to eat healthier. Well, I try to keep my my eating habits clean, and I try and watch it more when it gets closer to big races like this. And yeah, I just kind of relax a little bit, listen to some music.
Anything else?
No,
Dwayne?
good job.
Yep. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank
We'll
you.
pass it over to Macy. And you're a senior now? Because I know you've been at the other two shows that we had.
Yes, sir.
with
I'm
y'all.
a senior.
And I know that's why Dwayne was talking. Some people seem like it might be
Yeah,
25.
I think she's
you know?
a senior in high school. I think she's 25 years old. She's been doing this for I don't know how many years. Macy, you've been running since 7th grade?
I've been doing track since 7th grade, but I joined cross in 10th.
Oh, did you? That long? And then when you took over, well, that's basically what you did in 10th grade. You just basically took over the program, didn't you? I mean, you've been placing high ever since then, since day one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I came in after having a really good freshman track season, knowing that I wanted to go to state, and I knew I would have to be really competitive at meets to do that. So I just focused on placing high at every meet that I could.
So, I mean, some people are really talented in stuff that they do, and obviously this is what you do. Is that? I guess let me back up a little bit. Do you feel that this is what I'm good at? This is what I do, or is there some other things that you do that you think that you want to do in the future also?
I mean, this is my primary, my good thing, but, I mean, I'm in other extracurriculars like FFA, FPS, which I also still enjoy and do spend some time with in order to keep myself well-rounded.
Yeah, and I spoke to you a little bit in the break, too, about what your plans are when you leave Medina Valley. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I am looking to run in college. The dream is D1. I've had 2 Division II offers, a couple D3s, a couple D1 schools I've been in contact with, and we're moving towards that way, so that's really exciting. We're not looking like we're going to be in Texas, but it's going to be a real adventure.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. So, yeah, do whatever the heart wants you to do. I mean, as long as you're running, I think you'll be happy. Mm-hmm. When you're running, same question as the other guys. Do you like to be left alone, or do you like the motivation? What pushes you?
So it really depends on the run. On my long runs, I do like to have those alone just to see how far I can push myself physically and mentally. On easy runs, I love running with the girls and guys teams because we do take those days really easy and we recover really well from those, and it's a good day to just run and talk with each other. And then on our more workout center days, like our interval days, I do like to be alone on those. I get really competitive with the girls sometimes, so I get my distance in.
Hills or no hills?
I like the hills. It gives me a little bit, especially on our course, it gives an advantage since we're the only ones prepared for them.
And your longest run, 100 miles?
9.
Is it really? God, that's still a lot. That's a ton.
And what's your fastest, 5K?
My fastest 5K is in 18:28.
Wow. So you have a big run tomorrow. Let's talk about the post run. So you run tomorrow. How do you need time to recoup to recuperate? Do you take time off, or do you get back on the track? Well, what do you do after a big run?
I'll recover for the rest of the day, and then maybe the day after will be a short recovery run, 2 to 4 miles, nice and easy. But then after that, it's back on hard workouts because we got to prepare for regionals.
4 miles is a recovery one.
Oh my God. So here's a dumb question. Do you go back to class tomorrow after your run?
I've been in online school, so I've not been in class all year.
What do you? The rest of y'all going to class, or what are y'all doing tomorrow when y'all get done? Have you even thought about it? You don't call in sick after you run? I wouldn't. It'd take me a week to recuperate after running something like that.
So how often do y'all actually run full out? You know, because I know you're doing training in between. Do you only go full out for a run? Do you have qualifying runs for varsity and things like that?
At the beginning of the season, whenever we didn't have meets, we would have 5Ks every Friday just to gauge who was in that top 10 group. But typically, interval days are more all-out days, I guess. And then we do have recovery days in order to make sure that we are ready for those hard days and for our races.
So you go into a run, do you have a strategy? Do you say, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take the lead and hold it, or I'm going to come with a big kick at the end and stay back? What is your strategy going into a race, or does it change?
My strategy definitely depends on the race. If it's a more competitive race where I know girls will definitely get out faster, sometimes get out too fast, I am more of a sit and kick person. But in races where I know I have a little bit more control over the lead, I do like to go out, set hard paces in those, and just see who hangs with me.
Do you study the competition? Do you know who you're running against and know what they do, and then you adjust?
Yes.
Do y'all all do that?
Mile split is our best friend.
Wow.
Say that again.
Mile split. It's like a database.
Okay, so y'all do some studying. I mean, it's good to know whatever information you can get. I would assume is you might as well use it to your advantage.
Like you come into a race and you're like, oh no, she's here. You know.
Or
is that what people think when they see your name on the list? Like, oh no, she's here.
I mean, it's mutual.
They don't say, oh no. They
Yeah.
probably say something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate having y'all, and we appreciate
best
the
of luck
time,
to
and
you
good
guys.
luck to y'all tomorrow. And
I hope you all qualify for the next level. Yeah.
Yep. And hopefully, maybe in the future we can have y'all back on.
Yeah, when y'all are running in state, after y'all win those big medals in state, we'll have y'all back on, and we can talk about that.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and take a break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in a moment.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doublethunting.com. You're watching Medina Valley Sports. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
We're back here at Sports for Supper, and we're here in the press box. Had the cross country on. We had Coach Crisp on earlier today, and this game, JV game here, about over. It's 21-7. Alamo Heights as a JV scored just a little bit ago, Medina Valley, but 51 seconds left in this game. And Dwayne, did you have a swim update?
Yeah, I got a couple of things just to go over real quick because I don't want to leave the other sports out that is going on right now. I know on October 17th, the swim team had their third meet of the year, and they took 5 first-place ranks for the boys' teams. And congratulations to Matthew Taylor, Colton Holland, and Garrett Davis for their individual first-place efforts, and then the boys 200 medley and the 400 freestyle for their efforts for their top finishes. The girls swimmers placed second in the 200 free relay, and individual finishes of Helena Allen third and Kayla Simpton in second. They led the girls team on their side. That's the update that I have for the swim team, and we have a tennis update. As a matter of fact, yesterday the tennis team went to the McFarland Tennis Center to take on Lanier for their second round of playoffs. And the first time in Medina Valley tennis history that they've actually been to the second round. And so now they're going to be moving on to area. So that was a great move to be in the second round. They're moving on to area on Friday. That's Friday 2:30 at Anna Marie Tennis Center, and they'll be taking on Alamo Heights. So good luck to the tennis team. They're in their playoff run right now, and good luck to the swim team, and good luck to the group of the cross-country team that we just interviewed, and hopefully we can, if these guys advance as far as swim and tennis, they can move on, and we can have them here on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things to remind everybody about is tomorrow we'll be at Comalander Stadium. Medina Valley will be taking on Alamo Heights, and remember that is at Comalander. It's a Thursday night game. We'll be on the air at 6:45. Game time is at 7 o'clock, and we'll be there ready to cover that game. And Medina Valley coming in 0-1 in district, but they had a pretty good showing against Bernie Champion, played one of their better games of the season as a unit. And hopefully that offense can catch up a little bit with the defense, and they can get even in district play and come away with a win against an Alamo Heights team that is not as touted as they've been in the past.
Well, it'd be a huge win for them if they can take it. It would go great for their rankings right now as far as the district competition goes to go in with the win. They're going to need as many as they can get this year. And it's going to be a fight for those first four places. It definitely will be. And maybe not the first place, but the second and below, there's going to be some losses.
Well, yeah, and you're going to have, you got Lockhart and Floresville all fighting for one of those spots. Bernie Champion's going to get in the playoffs. So you're going to have to beat a team like Alamo Heights and Kerrville-Tivy
Yes.
and do your business against Floresville and Lockhart, who you should beat. But you're going to have to win one of these games against Heights or Tivy if you want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, not to mention momentum going into the playoffs. You had a big win under your belt, kind of like last year when we beat Alamo Heights. It was a big win that we had under their belt, and it just gave them momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've talked about it before, but I don't know what they're doing with COVID anymore. But in the past, it's been you finish first or second in your district, now you have a home game at first week of playoffs. And that's a big deal this year because Medina Valley will be playing those valley districts. And we don't want to travel down there to Laredo or into the valley.
Honestly, Jared, we've traveled enough this year. I mean, we'd like to have some home games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's 5 hours.
Yeah, we could have a long journey down there. So, that's one of the things to think about too. Is these are big games for that. You'd love to have a home game in that first round of the playoffs if you could finish 1 or 2.
Yep.
But if you finish 3 or 4, yeah, you're in the playoffs. That's awesome. But you're taking a road trip.
Well, and another big game this week, and we'll get a measuring stick on how good Kerrville-Tivy is because Kerrville-Tivy plays Bernie Champion, and I'm not too sure Kerrville-Tivy isn't going to give Champion all they want. I know Tivy's record isn't that good, but they've played some really, really good teams. So that's a good measuring stick, too. And it's like you and Dwayne said, this game here this week, Medina Valley, it's one of those where you have to win.
Yep.
Because, it's just one of those you need to win it. You got to win it.
Well, and you have a chance to win this game, too. I mean, we know Bernie Champion, they're good in and out, and we know they've got a really good team this year. We hung in with them, so, we've got to try to win this game tomorrow night.
Well, in Alamo Heights, in that game against Floresville last week, they were down 17-7 at one point in that game. They ended up winning 28-17. So their offense got going in the second half. You don't know what happened to transpire earlier in that game, if they turned the ball over or what, but Floresville jumped up on them. I feel like this is a game that, Medina Valley hung with Bernie Champion that entire game. A play here or there, that easily could have turned the other direction and went Medina Valley's favor. This is a very winnable game for the Panthers and almost a game that they have to win.
Yep. So a big game tomorrow night at Comalander Stadium. We're taking on Alamo Heights, and another game for the volleyball team Friday night. Both these matches are away. Panther volleyball will be out Southside, so you can go watch the football team now on Thursday and volleyball on Friday because they're not on the same night this week, and we won't be broadcasting at Southside. So if you want to watch the girls play some volleyball, it's Friday evening, you got nothing to do because there's no football, head down to Southside and the gym there and watch the girls take on the Cardinals of Southside.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember that the cross-country district meet is here tomorrow at 9 a.m. You come out and support the cross-country team because it looks like they have a very good shot to win that.
They've got a good team, boys and girls this year. They're fielding some really good runners. And I think they're going to come out strong in district, and I think the next level they're going to have some kids running and competing.
Yeah, and I'd like to throw a shout out to Coach Bermayan, the job that he's done since he's come here because 2 years ago we had him on the show, and since then they've improved dramatically every year, and now they're talking about they had a perfect finish at some of their meets where they finished 1 through 5.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, not to and I can't really recall in the past of any cross country kids playing at the next level in college. And
Yeah.
we've got 2 getting ready to do it after this year that at least they want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah,
And-
that's a big deal, and hats off to Coach Bermea for going through that.
You know, I can remember, it's been 10, 15 years ago, maybe even longer, when Coach Hughes was the cross-country coach. Medina Valley had some really, really good athletes, but I'm like you, Dwayne, I don't remember if any of them went to the next level. You have 2 for sure, and the 2 that you're sending off are going to be highly touted whenever they get to where they're going because of what they've accomplished already.
And I know Miss Livingston that was here with us. She's got a handful of schools looking at her, and she's got a good problem. She's got to choose,
Yeah.
which is great.
Well, and like she said, she's been offered 2 Division II schools. She's looking at some Division I schools where she's been in contact with them. So good luck to her, and hopefully that pans out for her, because being a Division I athlete's a big deal. And we're here in the press box this week. Next week's broadcast will be back at Sammy's Restaurant. That'll be a Friday night football game again, so we'll be able to have the show back there at Sammy's. I'd like to thank all the sponsors, as always, for making it possible to bring you these games. Final score here was 21-7. Alamo Heights JV comes away with the victory. We'll be on tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in here on the Medina Valley Broadcast Network on YouTube. We will be on at Comalander Stadium at 6:45 airtime. 7 o'clock game time as the Panthers take on Alamo Heights. So for Dwayne Garza and Maury Stein, I'm Jared Lucky saying good night, God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow when Panther football continues.